remember it like it was yesterday. It was the end of the year of 2002. Cover of Automobile magazine proclaimed, shocker, Infiniti out of nowhere dethrones BMW as the pound-for-pound high-performance sports car champion of the world. No one had even heard of Infiniti back in 2002. There were very few Infiniti dealerships. They had gone through a weird phase where in the early 90s they were building Q45s, little G20s, cute little cars, marginally successful luxury QX4s and Q45s and the like, but they never really amounted to much, and they had really dwindled into obscurity by the end of the 1990s. Lo and behold, the G35 Coupe comes out with its G35 sedan brethren and FX35 crossover, all built on the same platform, and completely transformed Infiniti as into one of the chic brands of the early 2000s. Infiniti has sustained that momentum and become one of the market leaders in a variety of categories as we move forward to 2013. This 2003 G35 Coupe kind of embodies everything that made Infiniti so successful and still makes it successful to this day. Rear wheel drive, front mid-engine, all kinds of horsepower, and that visceral kind of feel it in your bones race car experience that other brands really were caught off guard. Nobody had anything like this when the G Series came out, save for maybe BMW's M3, which was far more expensive. The G35 Coupe is a front mid-engine car, so the bias of the weight of the engine actually sits behind the front axle, and the reason for that is there's a lot of safety benefits when you have the engine so far away from the front of the car, so long as you have the other supporting secondary firewalls and what have you that this car has. But you also change the weight distribution of the car to be about 52%, 51.5% in the front, and the remainder in the back, so that as soon as you sit in the car, it's essentially a dead neutral 50-50. And so the analogy that's often made is, what do you think handles better, a baseball or a water balloon? And so the reason that 50-50 is so ideal is that whatever you turn the steering wheel, no matter how fast you're going, you have the rear wheels driving the car, the front wheels steering the car, and then neutral weight. It does anything that you want it to do. No matter how fast you're going and no matter how sharp the turn is, you turn the steering wheel and that's where the car is going to go. Well, it seems logical enough, but most cars in this category were actually front wheel drive. When you're steering and driving the same wheels, the front wheels, you'll want to steer to the left, say in an emergency maneuver or around a tight turn, but the car will want to keep going straight. And so you'll find a line somewhere in the middle. That concept is called understeer. And you'll see a lot of front wheel drive cars, Honda Accords, Acura TLs, that sort of thing, that have their fenders replaced. And that oftentimes comes from just missing a turn, because front wheel drive cars just don't take turns that well. And so you'll bump off of a guardrail or something like that. It's the single most common thing that happens to front wheel drive cars when people try to drive fast. In the case of the G35, no matter what your experience as a driver, you really feel like you can accomplish quite a lot in the performance end of the driving spectrum by driving a car that's really so easy to drive. And it also has fantastic brakes. It has actually large wheels for its day and huge brakes for its day. Its stopping power is second to none in this generation of cars. And then 260 horsepower. It actually feels like a lot more than 260 horsepower. You'll take other cars with this same kind of horsepower figure, put them on a line against each other, and this will kick everybody's butt over and over and over again. I don't know how they get the power to the ground so much more easily than other brands, but everybody knows, you can do all the research you want on the internet. The G35 Coupe just simply blows every other car away in this category, including those from BMW as proclaimed by Automobile magazine. Now this particular car, with miles in the 70s, wonderful low miles for 2003. Black on black's of course the most popular color combination. And as we took a look around this car, I'm not going to doubt that this car has had some bumps and bruises along the way. No accidents or anything like that really of any weight, but let's pop the hood and see definitively what it is that we're looking at. We know we live in a Carfax world, and so whatever it says must be truth. But it also misses quite a lot. And as the car gets older, we just like to know exactly what's going on. And so here's that front mid-engine where the engine sits so far back in the engine bay, giving all this space up front here. Power duct, air intake, that's actually from the factory. That's how they come. I look at all the screws, everything looks completely original. Everything looks original on the hood. very clean and nice, even though we don't steam clean engines because we don't want to get water on the spark plugs, which might trigger a check engine light. The engine itself looks oil-free, blemish-free, dirt-free. Also, one of the big concerns in the Northwest is rats. You'll see a lot of cars with this liner right here with holes in it, and that's a dead giveaway that there's been vermin inside the car. The reason it's a problem in the Northwest is that we have a lot of blackberry bushes everywhere you go up here, and vermin love to live in those blackberry bushes because predators can't get in there. And then you park next to them, or you have to park outside at work or what have you, and they feel the warmth of your engine in the wintertime, and they want to camp out in there. And the only thing they want to do when they're in there is chew on all your wires. But everything looks great inside this car. Fit and finish is nice. All the lines are nice. A little bit of haze in the headlights. It's a big headlamp and it's exposed to the direct sunlight. If it were my car, I would probably want to buff this all out. Wheels look sharp. Now these wheels protrude. They have kind of a concave nature, and so you'll see a lot of G35 Coupes that have scraped up, banged up wheels, and maybe these have been refinished at some point in their life, but they do look fantastic. They look like brand new, in fact, and as do the tires. And the tires might be brand new. They look that perfect. Inside, notorious problem area for G35 Coupes is this left seat bolster. Now, whoever owned this car must not have been very heavy, and so that's a good thing because they did not wear this out. But on every single G35 Coupe, you will see that this is worn out. If you own a G35 Coupe and you'd like to do something about it, it's actually a pretty simple fix. If you get somebody who knows what they're doing with interiors, they actually fill this with Brillo pads and then sew it back. It's very inexpensive, it's extremely durable, it looks great, and it's a very easy solution to a common problem that affects Infiniti Gs. This one has the sport finish, so it has all aluminum in the center console and aluminum on the door handles. Bose stereo, it's a premium package, so it has dual zone climate control, moonroof, and so on. Taking a look in the back. Trunk looks nice and fresh, and then again we're looking at all these screws to see if anything was turned. No, nothing at all. I see some water spots on the paint. Just a reality of black cars. You have to take a little bit more investment in time with black cars to buff them out, what have you. I see a couple of cat scratches right here, but nothing to really write home about. I think that this car's had some paint work. In fact, I don't have to think, I know for certain that it has. And so I can see little fish eyes and what have you, and maybe a refinishing of the clear coat. It doesn't look bad, but it's just something that you notice. For a 2003, I'll be honest, this car looks fantastic. All the power seat functions work great. Nothing sounds tired or old. Glove box opens nicely. There's actually two glove boxes in a G-Series coupe. The one other thing that it's worth noting, in 2003, there's a neat safety advance on G-Series cars that nothing else had back in 2003, and that is active head restraints. And so if you're ever rear-ended in a G35 Coupe or any Infiniti sold in 2003, the headrests actually pop up and come forward. So if you're rear-ended, the headrest comes and gets you rather than your head snapping against it to prevent whiplash. I'll jump inside. Let's take a look inside. Now, this has airbags built into the chairs. A lot of cars in this generation had airbags built into the doors, and that's really something that you don't want. The airbags there would be coming at you rather than moving away from you. In a perfect world, front airbags, you don't have a choice, but you'd rather have fewer airbags coming at your body and more of them going away from your body. And so chair airbags are better. Also, if your passenger's napping and they're reclined in the back seat, they're too far away to benefit from the airbag if you're sideswiped. Or if weather's really bad and you're close to the steering wheel, those door airbags can be too far behind you. This one also has curtain airbags, so it has airbags in the front, airbags in the side, and curtain airbags. It has anti-lock brakes. It has every safety advance that was available on the market back in 2003. Service-wise, we've done everything here, so we know the service history to this car. The major service has just been done by us. And so if you're looking for a car, fresh tires, fresh major service, hot color combination, new wipers, new filters, you know, all the niceties that we like to do here at Infiniti of Kirkland. This is actually a really cool opportunity to own a car that you know you could keep for 3 or 4 or 5 years. You see what they go for with 120, 130,000 miles. Your difference between what you can buy this car for and what its resale value is down the road is like nothing compared to every other exotic. The concern is it going to break? Is it going to cost me a bunch of money? Well, obviously, any 10-year-old car, that's going to be a question you need to ask. It's just the historical reliability of Infinitis is absolutely second to none, especially if you can get one that's fully reconditioned like this one is. If you have any questions at all, if you'd like me to take any distinctive photographs or want to bounce any ideas off of me, get financing options, just anything else at all, please don't hesitate to call me. My name's Joe Tunney here at Infiniti of Kirkland. The number here is 425-821-1600, or just drop me an email anytime at joet@infinitiofkirkland.com.